Fischer-Tropsch catalyst, a deactivation study.
Thank you, Chairman. The title of my presentation today is about a deactivation study on iron catalyst supported on carbon nanotubes. The outline of my presentation, first I will talk about introduction. I will try to pass by very fast. Literature review and our objective for this study. Catalyst preparation, support and catalyst characterization, Fischer-Tropsch synthesis in the long term, and characterization of used catalyst, and conclusion. Everybody here knows about the history of Fischer-Tropsch. It has 80 years of history, up and down, but there is a renewed interest during the last 10 years. As we can see here, there are more than 25 presentations about Fischer-Tropsch synthesis. Crude oil price, $140, $60 still high. Demand for clean fuels and CO2 neutral fuels, energy insecurity, and also possibility of production of fuel from biomass in North America, especially in Canada. So Fischer-Tropsch synthesis is a classical catalytic reactions. The main source is syngas. Main source for syngas is natural gas, coal, or biomass. Iron, cobalt are the main metal catalysts, exothermic reactions, and white products, paraffin, olefins, and side reactions like alcohols and coke formation. So if we would like to improve this process, we have to go through three options. First, we can work on catalyst, we can work on the type of reactor, and we can work on the operation conditions. So as we are catalyst fellows here, so we have to work on catalyst. So if you would like to improve the catalyst, so we should first look at the support, because support can influence metal dispersion, reduction behavior, and interaction of support and metal sites. Apart from the conventional supports such as titanium, alumina, and silica, carbon nanotube is a new generation of supports. Carbon nanotube is a sheet of graphite rolled into a seamless cylinder. It can be a layer of graphite, single-walled, or multi-walled nanotubes. Nanotubes possess a meso or macroporous structure, striped pores, and uniform pores. And also it is thermal conductive, so it is good for exothermic reactions. And like other carbon supports, it doesn't show strong metal support interactions. That's why we were interested to study iron catalyst supported on carbon nanotubes. If you have a look at the literature, we will find a few of studies on iron supported on CNTs, but the results are controversial. Some people they are saying that this is a stable and active catalyst, and the other hand, we have seen some papers that are saying that this is a unstable catalyst. So the objective is to study the stability of iron catalyst, and also if there is any deactivation, what is the main reason, and also study the pretreatment, effect of pretreatment on CN2 supports. We prepared two types of catalysts, of course two types of supports. The first one that I called it CNT1, it is just as received CNT, and the other one is CNT2, which is pretreated CNT support with nitric acid. And then we doped 10% iron on CNT, I called it Fe over CNT1, and also 10% of iron over the CNT2 catalysts, which are pretreated with nitric acid. So this is a kind of classic impregnation method. Nitric acid washing, drying, and without any binder, we just press to make a kind of pellet to make it incipient wetness impregnation, and then drying and calcination. So this is a CNT, SEM image of our CNT without any pretreatment. We can see that this is kind of pure CNT without any impurities like nanospheres. This is TM of our supports, CNT1 and CNT2. CNT1 is as received CNT. We can see that the caps are closed, but after pre-treatment TM image shows that most of the tubes are opened. We have done a BET nitrogen absorption analysis. We can see here there is a 35% increase in the surface area. It shows that the caps are opened after acid pretreatment, and also we can see increase in the pore volume. I have done a simple calculation based on increase on the surface area. I don't want to go into the details of these calculations, but the calculation shows that more than 65% of nanotubes are open. So, and also after acid treatment, we have done Raman analysis. So we can see that there is a increase in the ratio of defect to graphite. So it shows that acid pretreatment can introduce some defects and functional group on the nanotubes. After that, we moved on the catalyst characterization. First of all, we tried TM images on our catalyst. So the good thing about nanotubes is that we can easily see the catalyst, which is very, very favorable for any catalytic studies. So here, this is our CNT1. The caps are closed, and most of the nanotubes, most of the iron metals are doped on the exterior surface. But in the case of CNT1, we can see that most of them are inside. Since the caps are open, and because of the capillary force, when we introduce the metal solution, most of them, the metal solution just penetrate inside the nanotube pores. But after drying and calcination, we had most of these metal particles inside the nanotube pores. Of course, we have done BET analysis on our catalyst, and also ICP. ICP shows that we are close to our target metal content, and also in the case of CNT1, which are metal particles are doped on the exterior surface, there is not that much of change in the surface area because there is no pore blockage. But in the case of CNT2, which are the metal particles are inside the nanotubes, we can see there is a decrease in the BET surface area. We tried the metal particle size for both catalysts. Here, XRD and Debye-Scherrer equation, we can see that in the case of the CNT2, the particle sizes are slightly bigger than CNT1, and this data confirmed with the TM analysis. This is our classical FT reaction setup: two cylinder, 2 flow meter, reaction, fixed bed, control temperature and pressure are controlled, and the feed goes to the condenser, liquid fuel to the offline GC, and the rest to our online GC. This is our long-term deactivation study. The green dot shows CNT1, which are metal particles are on the exterior surface. We can see that there is after 10 hours, we can reach to the highest activity, but after during the 2 days, we have a significant decrease in the activity. But in the case of CNT2, we can see that we have initial activity of 75%. If we compare these two catalysts, CNT1 has higher activity because in the case of CNT2, metal particles are inside the nanotubes and there is possibility of pore blockage and diffusion limitations. But in the long term, we can see that there is a significant difference here between two catalysts. The important part here, this is the sharp decrease in the initial stage. So we should look for what is the reason for this. To find out this one, after 400 hours, we have done regeneration under hydrogen flow at 400 degrees. So we could recover partially the activity of catalyst in the case of CNT1. So this much of activity belongs to a deactivation, which is not, we cannot regenerate that one. But in the case of CNT1, after the same regeneration, we could regenerate the activity. So we have done to find out what is the reason for deactivation, we have done a XRD analysis on our used catalyst. Easily we can see that this is for CNT2 and this is for CNT1. In the case of CNT1, there is a sharp peak for Fe3O4, which shows that we have a significant increase in the particle size. But in the case of used catalyst for CNT1, the particle size remained constant. Also, we use again TM analysis to see. We can see here for CNT1, the most of the nanotubes, metal particles are inside the nanotubes, and they are agglomerated and sintered. But in the case of the CNT2, most of them are inside, and the size remained constant since the pore size is around 10 nanometers. You can see that the size remained stable. So this is my summary table. We can see for after acid treatment can open the CNT caps, increase BT surface area, and introduce functional group on the surface of nanotubes. CNT1, the closed cap, and the most of metal particles are on the exterior surface. Open cap plus capillary force, metal particles are inside. Particle size, but after reaction, we can see there is a significant increase in the metal particle size. So we have enough evidence to say that the sintering is the major factor for deactivation when we are using nanotubes. And the stability of CNT2 after pretreatment comes from two main reasons. The first one is the presence of functional groups, which works as an anchoring site, and the other one, physical restriction of CNT, which limits the agglomeration of metal size. And we can see that in the case of CNT, because of sintering, we weren't able to recover the activity, but in the case of CNT2, regeneration can recover the activity. At the end, I would like to acknowledge my supervisor, Dr. A.J. Dalai, and also our members in the Chemical Reaction Laboratory, University of Saskatchewan, and NSERC for financial support. Thank you. Thanks for your attention. And any question?
We have time for questions.
Sure.
No questions. One question. Yes.
Any other question? Do you have a rough idea of My name is Junyan from Hyperion Catalyst. Do you have a rough idea for the catalyst supplied on the same P2 nitric acid oxide system? Are the portions? What's the portion of the particles, the iron particles, loaded inside the tube, or all the particles loaded inside the tube? What's the portion?
Based on TM analysis, more than I would say that around 70-75% are inside the nanotubes. Also, I showed the calculation shows that 65% are open. So when you have an open cap, based on capillary force, you will have lots of because the amount of metal solution that I impregnated over the support is the same. It was equal to amount of pore volume. So we were, controlling that, most of the nanotubes and most of the metal solutions penetrate inside the nanotube pores.
About 70%.
Yes, 70-75%. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks. It's rather funny that in the review talk after lunch, advocating nanotubes, for example, the whole idea of nanotubes was the exo concept. You get away from the pores, the external support of the catalyst.
Yes.
Surprisingly enough, your results show that you need the porosity of the nanotubes to embed and encapsulate the particles so they remain stable. I don't dispute that result. It's a very interesting contrast with the other advocacy for that, but I guess even if you have the particle inside, as you said, most of the fraction of iron and CNT2 are inside, but certainly you would expect everything else after the first particle is going to be inaccessible anyway. From the standpoint, those particles are basically blocking the tube. There's going to be very little gas exchange, past particle number 1, starting from the end.
I would like to add that if we had a keynote speaker about the effect of confinement of nanoparticles inside the nanotubes. So they have done an extensive study that have shown that when the particles are inside, the stability, activity, and selectivity is better. About the accessibility of the reactant to metal particles, I would say that the size of our metal particles are much smaller than the nanotubes because nanotubes pore. Our nanotube pores is around 10 to 15.
If you go back to your TEM micrograph, they were filling.
It shows like that there, but based on I know what you mean. From this point of view, you can see that they are blocked that one. But there are many TEM analysis that shows that the metals are half blocked the nanotube pores. I showed this TM because to show that the nanotubes are inside the tubes.
Time for one more. I want to slow our hand.
Probably this, but did you show any data about selectivity of the?
Not on this presentation, no. But we have published one paper shows, yeah.
Which is the selectivity?
Selectivity for just for iron without any promoters, we have around 53% of C5+.
50%?
Yes.
And methane?
Methane is around 10.
Okay.
10, yes.
Please help me thank Reza.
Presentation will be by Jacob Christensen from the Technical University of Denmark. We'll be speaking on the process conditions in the synthesis of higher alcohols from syngas.